Hi everyone, today I'll show you how easy it is to interact with Dash Platform using our CLI tool. In this video we'll create a wallet, create an identity, top it up with some platform credits, register a name and store some data on the platform. First, let's set up our environment. As a prerequisite for this app, we need Node.js version 20 or higher installed. Then we'll clone our repository and install the rest of the dependencies. Now we need to configure our connection to the Dash network. The .env example file already contains a set of DAPI addresses from platformexplorer.com. Copy this to .env. We'll be working on testnet today. Let's start by creating a new wallet. This gives us a mnemonic. Think of it as a master password for our wallet. I'll save this in our .env file as we'll need it later. Now let's get an address to receive some test funds. We will use the getUnused command to generate an address that has no history. This uses the Dash Platform Decentralized API, or DAPI, to generate the address from the mnemonic we created earlier. I'll quickly get some test funds from the faucet at testnetfaucet.dash.org and send it to my new address. This usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes to confirm. What we're going to do next is create our platform identity. Let's go ahead and run the create identity command while referencing the new address we created and funded earlier. Dash Platform uses identities as your account. Think of it like a user profile that can own data and names. Please note, this may take a few minutes to complete, as the app needs to do some lookups and sync the core Dash chain. Future versions of the app will be optimizing this stage, and the Dash team are working on optimizing the SDK as well. If you want, you can turn on debug mode in the .env file to see more details. We'll save this identity ID. It's our unique identifier on the platform. But don't worry, you can always get all the identities related to your wallet with the getIdentityIDs command. Now we need to add some credits to our identity. Credits are like gas for platform operations. So we are going to run the top-up identity command, and again referencing the core address as well as the identity ID we created earlier. We will also enter the amount of Dash in duffs that we want to top the identity up with. Each duff gives us 1,000 credits. We are going with the minimum amount, for now 5,000 duffs. Now that it is completed, we can see the details of the identity ID and its platform credit balance. Now we have come to the most fun part of the demo, registering our Dash Platform human-readable name. Dash Evolution was originally conceived on the idea that blockchains should have simpler addresses than a bunch of numbers and letters. Dash usernames is the vision to solve this pain point. With this CLI tool, it becomes trivial to register names on the platform. I'm using CLI demo 2025, but you can choose any available name. Notice I used a name with numbers. This makes it a standard name rather than a premium name, so it's cheaper. Also note that once it registered the name, it becomes C11DEM02025. This is normal and implemented in the backend to avoid fraudulent names that look similar. Now for another exciting part, let's create a data contract. Think of this like creating a database schema, which will define how our documents must look. We will use the register contract command with our identity ID and contract definition. This contract defines a simple note structure with a message field. Here we can see the data contract ID and that the owner of this contract is our identity ID. We'll save the contract ID. Now that we have our data contract created, let's store some data by submitting a document. Note that the data contains a message field, as per the contract definition, and a message we want to submit. Once the process is completed, we can see that a new document has been created. related to our identity ID and with the message we submitted. And now let's retrieve the document that we stored with the retrieve documents command. See that we used the document type note, which is what we defined the type to be in our contract definition. The document type is a user-defined field that denotes the type of contract for use in your app. And there you have it. We've just created a wallet, set up an identity, topped up the identity with credits, registered a name, created a data contract, and stored and retrieved document data on the Dash platform. And this is just scratching the surface. The platform supports features like searchable indices, document updates and deletion, contract versioning, and complex queries. We will also be adding more features to this CLI tool soon, like NFT support and much more. We aim to have feature parity with the Dash Platform SDK so that whatever your need, you can use this CLI tool in your arsenal. Feel free to check out our GitHub repo for more examples and documentation. Before we end this video, we just want to show you around the Platform Explorer app and how to look up all of our artifacts that we created in this demo. Head over to platform-explorer.com and select TestNet at the top right. In the search field, we paste our identity ID and click Search. Here we can see the name that we registered, CLI Demo 2025, and our credit balance. Then if we scroll down, we find all our transactions for this identity. If we click on the Data Contracts tab, we can see the contract we created, and if we select that and select the Schema tab, we can see our contract definition just as we entered it on the CLI. Next, if we click on the Documents tab, we see the document we submitted, and when we select it, we can see the message that we wanted to store. This demo has now concluded. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to your comments and feedback from using our tool.